Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. On leaving the synagogue, Jesus entered the house of Simon and Andrew with James and John. Simon's mother-in-law lay sick with a fever. They immediately told him about her. He approached, grasped her hand, and helped her up. Then the fever left her, and she waited on them. When it was evening, after sunset, they brought to him all who were ill or possessed by demons. The whole town was gathered at the door. He cured many who were sick with various diseases, and he drove out many demons, not permitting them to speak, because they knew him. Rising very early before dawn, he left and went off to a deserted place where he prayed. Simon and those who were with him pursued him, and on finding him said, "Everyone is looking for you." He told them, "Let us go on to the nearby villages that I may preach there also. For this purpose have I come." So he went into their synagogues, preaching and driving out demons throughout the whole of Galilee. The Gospel of the Lord. One of the things I hear from visiting priests is the burden laid upon them, and not the burden that you imagine, by the lay people and by their bishops, putting pressure on them to become pen pushers, bureaucrats, attending meetings, filling out forms in triplicate, and they have less time for the sacraments and for preaching. And at the same time, the same local churches would put pressure on lay people to go and do what the priests do. Go out and do funeral services, go and visit the sick in the hospital, give out communion, and do those sort of things. Now, in many places, these are useful things that they do to help and assist. But these are the primary functions of the priest. What a priest should be doing. A priest should not be filling out forms and attending useless meetings about how to minimize your carbon footprint and things like that. Not what a priest is called for. The devil likes to raise up distractions. For priests, his attack is to make them depressed. And he makes them depressed by taking them away from what they were made for, what they were ordained for. So instead of ministering, they become managers. And the laity, the devil wants to sow in them cynicism, a kind of pessimism, to think, I can't really trust anyone anymore, anyone who seemed to be of authority. Neither the media, nor the government, nor the police, nor the church, nor the health authorities, anyone. So notice this twofold attack: pessimism, cynicism, and depression. We need to free our priests to function as priests. And for that, what is necessary? I'll tell you now. Every single one of you here must become an expert in theology. Okay? Every single one of you. You have no excuse. Do you know what sloth is? What Americans call sloth? Sloth. One of the 7 deadly sins. Do you know what it is? It's not laziness. It is specifically this: a reluctance to find out the holy saving truths of the faith. Okay? An inertia with spiritual things. You think, I don't really want to find that out. The priest knows and he'll tell me, but I'm not that interested. This is the deadly sin of sloth. So if any of you here is reluctant to do theology, I didn't say study theology, do theology, you deserve a smack. All right? I won't administer it myself. I'll let sister do that. But you do, because this is a deadly sin. Why is it, no, I have to be careful not to turn this into a rant. When the pilgrims are here in huge numbers, I get asked all sorts of silly questions. Father, why can't there be more lights shining on the statue of the risen Christ after 12:15 at night? I remember one man asked me something like that, and I said, I'll do that for you if you can do me a favor. Can you please shine more lights on Niagara Falls? And he looked at me like I was crazy, but I was equally sincere. You think I have power over this? Why are you wasting my time with stupid questions? Now, then it becomes spiritual questions. You all watch me all year round, how much I preach and exhaust myself trying to teach all of you. Is that not true? Can any of you here deny that? Any? So are you all experts in theology yourselves now? Are you teaching others? And if you're not teaching them, why not? And if you don't know how to teach them, do you know where to find the answers? Have you thought about Catholic Answers on YouTube? By the way, where is our Christmas nativity scene? Just because I've been sick for 3 days, I find the scene has disappeared. Is there still one in church? Good. Okay, there's the plenary indulgence involved. And also, do you all know how to explain what an indulgence is? If not, you are guilty of the sin of sloth, one of the 7 deadly sins. Do you know how to explain what an indulgence is? Explain it to others. What, do you think this is consumerism? You come to church, you think, not that little brown priest again, he'll talk too long. Just get on with the Mass, give me communion so I can disappear out the door. Is that why you're here? Don't bother coming. You're here so that Christ, even using me, can preach the truth to you. Notice what Jesus does. He goes to synagogues preaching and driving out demons. What demons fear most of all is a priest who preaches and hears confessions. I've said that so many times. Do you remember that? Yes. Bear that in mind. Free your priests to do those activities. You all must become experts in the faith. Theology, as so many saints have said, is done on one's knees. Okay? It is not about reading and studying so much as prayerfully receiving these things into your soul. You must know the faith, and you must explain it to each other. I say this also because when someone new comes here, now I'm speaking to those of you just in this room, I know you have your own personal obsessions. Maybe one of you is obsessed with the divine sacred spleen, and you have your novena to the sacred spleen, and you have to tell the new person all about it. I beg you, at least for a few days, hide your own personal craziness and think about this person is new to the faith. This person has just come back to the sacraments. And you want to tell them what? About Masons, the WEF, and chemtrails, and God knows. Really? Is this what you want to do? I said, hide your own personal craziness. Maybe expose your own personal craziness to Christ so that His truth can drive out your demons too. Our first duty is to promote the faith, not our own personal agendas. To promote Jesus. Every single one of you, that wasn't loud enough. Every single one of you is going to become an expert on theology. I don't care. I'm not having it. Every single one of you. Do you hear me? Amen.